Where were you when you got the call up?
I was in my apartment in Tucson, about to go to bed, and I just received a call from David last week.
What did he say?
He just told me like what was up, and then he just told me like that we're gonna get called up, and my flight was at 6 a.m. this morning, so I didn't have a big night, no.
Yeah, so what has the last, 12, 14 hours been like for you?
Pretty crazy. Right after I got the call, I just called my parents, called my agent, just told them like I was getting called up. Like both my parents were sleeping, so they were like just sleepy. I told them like, wake up, I gotta tell you something. And they were just really happy. So we'll see if I play or not, but I think they definitely want to come.
What does it mean to you to get this opportunity, even if you don't play?
Yeah, well, it's crazy. Like just being here. Like I was in Tucson for 4 games. I didn't think I would like get called up right away that quick. But being here is amazing. Like. Everyone wants to be here, so the fact that I'm here already means a lot. Am I going to play or not? I don't know. I really hope I do, but if I don't, just getting that experience is amazing for me. Yeah.
I know you were in training camp with these guys, but how different was this, just being at practice with them versus that?
Yeah, it's way different. There's way less guys than at camp. At camp we were probably like 30, 40, even 50 at some point. Now we're 25, 24, real team. Practice are more intense. There's no margin for error now. You got to do everything right. So it's way more on the task, and then you do your job, and then that's it.
Did you get any sleep?
I got like 4 hours of sleep, and then that's pretty much it. But I looked like I slept all night. I'm just really happy to be here.
What are you trying to bring in your game to kind of show the coaching staff?
Yeah, well, whatever I did at camp, just playing simple, making some quick passes, jumping in a rush, being good defensively, having coaches. Being reliable for coaches on defense. That's what I try to do at camp, and that's what I'm definitely going to bring if I play.
What have you learned from your first few pro games?
Yeah, it's a completely different game from junior. Every player is on task, every player is good on details, they're much bigger, much faster. You can't come one game and like think, oh, this one's going to be easy today. You always got to work hard. You can't take no days off. So that was how I played in the AHL, and then if I play in the NHL, I got to be even work even harder than I was down there.
Is it different having the guys be more mature, more fully grown, like bigger, hit harder, skate faster?
I'm getting used to it now. It's definitely a big step from playing against 16 years old in junior. That now that there's some guys that are 35, 36. So it's definitely a huge step, but I'm getting used to it now, so that doesn't bother me anymore.
If you were inserted into the lineup, what would that mean to make your official NHL debut?
A lot. It's definitely like a dream coming true. Probably won't sleep a lot during the night, or probably my nap won't be long. Probably gonna be stressed a bit too. But just when I'm gonna step on the ice for that first time, just all the relief's gonna go away. Then I'm just gonna be happy to put the jersey and just play for Utah.
Are you growing out the facial hair now that you're
that's the only thing I can grow, so I'm trying my best. People told me I look a bit older with that on, so that's what I told my dad. He's like, shave it. I'm like, no, like I'm playing against guys that are 35. I gotta go look older now, so I can't be looking like 20 years old. So that's why I'm keeping it.
Looks good.
Thank you.
Utah dealing with some injuries on the back end. You've gone through that shoulder surgery twice. Just what was that rehabilitation like for you? And
it takes a long time. Shoulders are always hard to come back. Like you got to take it slow, and then I wanted to come back as quick as I could, but I couldn't. I had to take my time. I had to do all the work I had to do. I had to do a lot of rehab, a lot of workouts, a lot of alone practices. So definitely it's not fun to go through that, but I'm happy my shoulder is 100% now.
When you couldn't work out, what's the process? Is it eating a lot? Are you lower body? How does that work?
Yeah, so I did a lot of lower body. I ate a lot too, a lot of shakes, probably 4 meals during the day with a shake at night. Sometimes I wanted to throw up before going to bed, but I had to eat and gotta get bigger, and that's what Bill's been telling me a lot, to gain some weight and get bigger. So it's a lot of eating, a lot of leg workout, that's for sure, yeah.
When you missed the end of last season, I go for the Memorial Cup, you kind of talked about being ready for training camp, rugby camp. Just how rewarding is it to go through that process and have this call up and be 100% healthy?
Well, I feel like all the work I put in just pays off now. I'm not there yet. I gotta play. I gotta stay here as long as I can. But just being here is definitely a step of everything I did after my shoulder surgery just paid off.
What did you see from Lamoureux during camp that you're kind of looking from him now?
Maveric is in our organization for 3 years, so we follow him. for quite a bit right now. He's big, he can skate, he move the puck well, keep his game simple. He can be physical as well. So,
Coach, what goes into the decision-making process of like who to call up and who to bring up? Like, I'm interested to hear like what that decision-making process is like for you guys.
But we always talk to the staff out there. We talk to Potsy and his group, talk to Fergie, see who's performing on there, who's playing well, who deserve it. We get a report as well after each game on the performance. We get all the advanced stats you can imagine. Plus, we get a report from the coaching staff there, who's playing well and who's does his job best. And he had good reports since the beginning.
And what excites you most about Lamoureux coming up from the AHL, moving up to the NHL now?
Excited. Ask him if he's excited. I think I'm excited about playing the game tomorrow and having a bounce back game. I think I don't want to put any pressure on a young player. So we'll determine first of all if he's playing tomorrow or not, and then if he's playing, we want him to enjoy the day. There's one chance to play your first game in the NHL. That will never happen again. So we'll see what the decision will be, and from there, if he does play, what I will tell him is to enjoy the moment and just enjoy it and make sure it's a unique moment.
Are there any anticipated roster changes for the game tomorrow, such as goaltender, or if Yamamoto will remain?
We'll still talk about it. We still have time, but the usual. We'll have plenty of discussion today, and I think we'll figure that out. We'll let you know tomorrow morning.
What are some of the key focuses of your game tomorrow?
But Colorado, they're a possession team, but they as well shoot a lot from the slot. They're a team who penetrate the slot by skating and pass the puck to the slot a lot. So the coverage on our slot got better in the last 10 days. Tomorrow will be a great test. That will be the best test you can imagine. They're number one in about every metrics. So that will be one. As well, their speed. We're a good forechecking team, but they are super mobile. So that will be a good test for our forecheck. And we need to cut their transition. The attack of the Russian, they're really dangerous. So we'll need to be good against that.
Dursey and Marino's surgery is not today. Just how do you keep guys kind of involved in the team as you can when they're out for months at a time?
Well, you don't really, to be honest. I would like to sugarcoat it and make you believe with you, but they're not here. They will be in rehab. They will start the rehab on a normal day. Before the guys get to the ring, they do their rehab, and the guys arrive. They're leaving. It's a little bit tough. That's why it's extremely tough mentally to be in that situation for them to recover from long injury. The guys are in the beat, and they are in a different beat than you. You're in rehab. That's what you're focused. The guys are living more in the beat of the win and the loss and the grind and the schedule, which those guys are on different schedules. So I would like to tell you, but you cannot know what's going on in the trenches if you're not in the trenches. You can say, yeah, you can hear the bullet flying. No, you don't. When you're in the trenches, you hear it. So that's just the reality.
Is it a game-by-game situation with Lamoureux, or do you anticipate it will make an appearance?
Well, it's day by day for now, and we'll see. We're not making long-term plan. I often say in that situation, tell me how we will perform, tell me how he will perform, and I will tell you what's the plan. I mean, that's all stuff we don't know. So there's in our sports, you're right in one hand and you're race with the other one. So just one day at a time.
I'm going to ask you to go back a few years or a few decades even. How did you feel when the Nordics became the Avalanche?
Not really good. I was a big Nordic fan. I can tell you that. I was, back in the day with the Stastny and Michel Goulet and Dale Hunter was probably my favorite player. So those were the great days. And then after we had the rebuilding and we got finally really good, and we had Joe Sakic and those guys, and they moved. And they won right away from the first year. But I always stayed a fan back then, and I had the opportunity to go coach there and work with Joe and Footer and Bitter and all those guys there. So Patty, obviously. So that was an honor.
Did you? So you cheered for him that Stanley Cup year?
Yeah, I did. And as a was a Quebec guy when they trade for Raymond Bourque. They brought me back on the bandwagon pretty quick, so I think that was a good story.
Along those lines, a lot of fans are expecting the Utah-Colorado kind of to
why
become
not?
a rivalry.
Yeah.
How does a rivalry form outside of just the playoffs?
Well, I think it's, you know what, if you ask the people who were there in the last couple of years, it's a pretty intense game with the Avalanche. We knock on wood, we had some success, and even through the rebuild, and there's a lot of emotion in those games, you know. I hope that will keep going, and you know, I think every game can spark it.
Coach, you know, with a young team, it'd be kind of hard to be patient and wait for your scoring chances to come. What's it been like trying to help these players understand, you know, like those scoring chances are going to come, and that you got to just trust that you're gonna get your chances at some point.
That's what becoming a good team is. We won't become a good team because we'll be more skilled. We already have the skill. We already have the speed. We already have the talent. What makes you a good team is when you can win when you don't have your A game. When you can win when you're patient. When you're not opening up the plate. It's not the first time. It did happen yesterday, but it happened as one in Jersey. It happened in the other game where we got carried away a little bit. So that's part of becoming a good team. That's why the Ian Cole, the Bertuzzo, the Sergachev, the Stany, those guys who've been added to the team, and plus our young guys who I will call them the young leader, the veteran we have, who learned through the experience in the past, and now we're becoming more aware and more with better intention in those situations. But it's not because it's easy to do. Everybody knows. It's not everybody can do it.
How would you equate the success in the face-off circle to the team's success so far this year?
Yeah. You know, there's a Hall of Famer one day who told me, if you're a slow team, you had two fast guys, and suddenly you're a fast team. If you're a soft team, you had two tough guys, and suddenly you're a tough team. But what we did, we had two face-off guys. You know, you had a guy like Stanlon, and the other one is from within, but Barrett Eden's got hurt a lot last year, and he's a really good face-off guy. So now you had two good face-off guys. So suddenly you're a good face-off team because those guys are good, but other, you know, big face-off last year, Jack McBain was taking a lot of key face-off on the PK, sometimes even on the right. So that hurt his number big time. You know, it's same thing for Logan Cooley last year, who was the only center in his line. Where, okay, I have a bad night. Now he has a bad night. He can be two out of 7, and Banner will take the rest. So you finish the night 2 out of 7. Last year you finished 3 out of 15. So it's tough to recover those numbers through the next couple games. So I think we cut our loss a lot in that way. And you know, the big face-off, what I call the big face-off in your zone, end of the period, those kind of thing. We send our best, they send their best as well. When you are a young player and you're going against, I will use player who are not in the league anymore, but let's say you go against Patrice Bergeron. Well, the odds are not in your favor normally. So if you're a 50% guy who go against this guy, you most likely lose the face-off, and now that hurt your numbers. But when you have guys like Stanny or Aids, you can draw 50% of them. That change everything. So that push your number up. And I think as well, I will say this, we're more intense in our trenches battle, our edge battle, call it the way you want, our winger or our D in the D zone, to get in there and to help. I think we put a huge emphasis in that this year, and we have numbers. We run numbers on that, on the possession following wins or loss, and I think that get the attention of everybody. And I will give an example, Jack McBain playing on the wing, he gets a lot of possession, he wins draw where Coos maybe had lost it a little bit, is right behind, but Boehner win the draw for him, so which Marchand did for years for Patrice Bergeron. So I think that helped the number as well.
How much does having a vet like Stenlund, not only like the trickle down effect of delivering more, but like actually coaching the younger guys like Cooley and Hayden on face-offs, like little strategies, things like that. How much does that help?
That help a lot. I say that every week. I say that to you every week, and I will say it every week. Best coaching is coming from the player. I think when you have a veteran who tell you a few tricks on the face-off or in the puck management or to managing your emotion, I think that's the best coaching. Coach at some point we can preach, but it's the same thing in your life where your dad and mom told you a lot of things. You say yeah, and suddenly at some point a mentor or someone, your boss or something told you something, and you say, oh yeah, that's true. Then I will do it, which your parents told you a million times and you never did it. So that's a little bit the same.